All right, so today, talking about Facebook, we know that Facebook's been around for a long minute, almost as long as an iPhone has been in existence. So we're still a little confused sometimes about where we're at. So let me just clarify a couple of things. First of all, number one is the main default that you arrive at when you open Facebook is going to be it's called your news feed. We just don't see a term for that or don't call it that to each other, but that's the name of this section here that is like a ticker tape that scrolls up and down with all kinds of interesting things, mostly posts from other people you may know. And sometimes it even includes ads, which we will talk about later. So this is called the news feed, and this is where you land. And it's very important to know the vernacular so that you don't get so lost in all the stuff that comes at you. So the second place that we are going to talk about is your basically your timeline. And this is where you click on your picture in the upper right-hand corner, and this section contains only things that you post. This is a chronological order about you, where you went to school, anything that you filled out about this. Your pictures are kind of listed here. Your posts are in order of which you've posted them. And it makes it easy for you to see or find something that you may have posted a long while ago. So just so you know where you're at, these two things is the timeline and the news feed. And we're going to start with the news feed. So on this news feed, it's very easy to follow a post and end up being lost somewhere in the Facebook nether regions. If you're looking at something, maybe a video or a post that has more on it. For example, something like, well, of course, we cannot find anything right now, but say you want to look at this in greater detail. Okay, so that's just clicking on a picture, a photo, or an ad, maybe. And then sometimes it's hard to know where to go home. But if you're in a photo, you can click the little X. But if you actually end up someplace else, like searching for all your friends, and you don't really know where to go from here, you look around and you go, oh my gosh, this isn't my place. look for the little home icon on your computer, your browser, and that works on Apples and PCs alike. You just go up to the little icon in the corner, click on that, and that will bring you back to your news feed. And it will probably be replaced with new things since the last time you had looked at it approximately 1 second ago. So there's always something changing on your news feed. So that's tip number 1, how to get back home if you get lost. It's called the little home button, and you can tap on it or click on it depending on what device you're using. So tip number 2 is about the lot of the fake posts that you've been seeing going around that say something like, well, Facebook has only shown me X number of friends, but do this and you'll see all your friends post. Well, those copy and paste things actually are very likely to get you hacked, because what they're doing is trying to find people who are gullible, and to repost something that is not true is a great way to see who might be careless with their information and have an open book, so to speak, for people who don't have a lot of quality genes in them, let's just say. So what we want to do is we want to look at the most recent posts instead of the top comments. See, the algorithm that is the default for Facebook is actually the comments that your friends have made or the postings that have the most responses. So they're called the top stories or the top posts, whatever. But that's how you see over and over the same people, because their posts are getting a lot of responses. Maybe the ones you want to see aren't. My preference is I like to see the posts in the order that they were posted. So the easy thing to do, and let's turn the camera over to the side a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now if you look on the sidebar, and that's what this is called, you will see a little thing that says most recent. Okay, so most recent will take you to the posts that were posted in chronological order. That makes it a lot easier to see the things that you would wish to see if you want to get all of it in, instead of just what Facebook thinks you should be looking at because there's more comments or responses to it. So that's number 2, is your most recent. And this brings us to tip number 3. Okay, so there's often times when I scroll down my news feed and I'd actually like to see more of probably a video, because I scan a lot of stuff, and if it has an animal in it, then I'm most certainly going to want to save it for another time. So as we're scrolling down here, do you think I can find a video? No, I got very interesting things and I love the graphics. Okay, but here's some breaking news, which I might want to save for later. So when I see that on there, that little start-stop video icon means that there's something to watch for whatever amount of time it is. Now, I'm going to turn around and look at it. Oh, I see that there's a cat looking at it. And so I most certainly do want to save that. So here's how you do it. The little 3 dots in the upper corner, okay, it's looking like an ad, so you can be fooled by some of these, unfortunately. But if you want to save it, and often there's products I'd like to look at just to give me more information, not necessarily that I would buy them off of Facebook, and I'll tell you about that next week. But here's the little icon that says Save Video. All right, add to your saved items. And since I have made a lot of lists of things that I want to keep or watch or go back to, I can choose where I want to save it. So we'll just click on Show Mike. And that way we're done. And when I go back now to the saved icon over here, that video will be shown in the Show Mike column. Look at that. Right there. So now I can go back at my leisure and play that at any time that I feel like it. So with that, we're at the end of our tip of the week, and be sure to join me next week for 3 more fascinating Facebook secrets. We'll be talking about how to unfollow somebody without letting them know, when it's appropriate to accept friend requests, and should you buy products from Facebook ads. All of those you'll want to come back to in 2 weeks, and we're at tip number 46 this week. Look for us next week. Thanks for watching.